Maven Central Repository. Okay, so what is the Maven Central Repository? In the previous video, we went to the nvnrepository.com, so the Maven Central Repository, and we retrieved the Selenium Java dependency and we added this to our pom.xml file. Okay, but what is everything? What did we just do? Let's try to understand. So the Maven Central Repository is a public repository that serves as the default and central location for hosting and distributing Java libraries and artifacts built with Maven. It is managed by the Apple Maven project and maintained by Sonatype. Okay, now when you define these dependencies in your Maven project's pom.xml file, Maven looks for these dependencies in the central repository by default. Okay, so in other words, let me kind of explain this in layman terms, and let me give you a real-time example. So years ago, when Selenium Test Automation started becoming popular, a lot of folks had to go to the Selenium website and manually download the Selenium libraries. Okay, then they had to manually import these Selenium libraries to the Maven project, and in that process a lot of things could go wrong and we would have to do things all over again. Sometimes it wouldn't work, and so on. So that was a very tedious task to do to get this up and running. Okay, then the Selenium Java dependency started being hosted on the Maven Central Repository. So this website here, okay, is pretty much a location, a place where anyone can come and host Java libraries, okay, or dependencies, libraries for Java projects. Okay, now I'm saying the word anyone, but you do have to follow some guidelines and so on to host your libraries here. Okay, now here the Selenium Java dependency is available to us. So by just copying and pasting this dependency to our pom.xml file, once we saved this, our Maven project downloaded the libraries to our Maven project here, to our VS Code. Okay, and that's a really cool thing. Just by copying, pasting, and just saving, then our Maven project just downloaded these libraries to our project here, and that's really cool. We didn't have to do anything manually. All we needed was an internet connection. And for evidence, I'll show you this. So once we went ahead and saved this, on the bottom right here where you see Maven, let's click on it. Okay, you'll probably see something that looks like this. So I'll expand this, and then we can go ahead and expand dependencies here, and you'll see that we have the JUnit libraries here and the Selenium libraries right here. So that's true, right? We have a dependency here for JUnit. Okay, so we have the libraries here, and then we have the Selenium libraries here. Okay, and that's expected to see. That's pretty cool. They got downloaded once we saved our project. Okay, now if I go ahead and delete this, I'm gonna go ahead and delete this Selenium dependency here. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and save it. Okay, you're going to see that now the Selenium libraries are gone. So just like that, a very sensitive process, I was able to get rid of all of the Selenium libraries from my Maven project here. So this is to show you how sensitive the pom.xml can be. We can easily come in here and misconfigure something by accident. So be very careful. To be honest with you, in real-time projects, no one should be touching the pom.xml unless you have to add a dependency or upgrade the version of a dependency. Okay, so keep that in mind. I'm gonna go ahead and add it back. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and save this, and just by saving our project, the dependency is back. Okay, so let's come back here. All right, so let's talk about what a dependency is in the pom.xml. In a pom.xml file of a Maven project, a dependency refers to an external library or module that your project relies on. Okay, for example, if we start writing Selenium code in one of our Java classes, if we get rid of the Selenium dependency, our code will start going crazy. It won't compile anymore. We'll start getting error messages saying that our code can't compile, that Selenium cannot be found, and so forth. That's because every single class that we will basically be creating, and all the most of the code that we'll be writing in our Java classes will be relying on external libraries, for example, like Selenium, and we're going to work with other external libraries as well. Okay, this is why, again, we mentioned that the pom.xml is the heart to the Maven project. Any misconfiguration, any accidental deletion can really, ruin your project. So be very careful with what you do. Okay, dependencies are declared in the pom.xml file to specify the other tasks, artifacts, or project needs in order to compile, run, or perform specific tasks. Okay, the key elements of a dependency declaration in a pom.xml. So we have a group ID, artifact ID, version. Let's go back here and let's see if that's true. Okay, so let's take a look at this right here. We have the group ID, we have the artifact ID, and we have the version. That is true. That's all we need. Right here we have the artifact ID, version, group ID, and sometimes scope. You can have scope as well. We'll talk about this later. Now this is being highlighted for myself here. It looks like there's an issue here and I need to resolve it. So let's discuss this. If this is happening to you, it says right here, dependency conflict in Selenium Java, com.google.guava, guava31.0.1 JRE conflict, Maven dependency conflict. So you can just ignore this for now. If you see this, that's if you see it. If you don't, that's good. I'll go ahead and close it. Let's see if we close VS Code and we open it again. Okay, give me 1 second, and there it is. So our pom.xml is fine. Okay, if you see this little pop-up, by the way, that says null annotation types have been detected in the project, do you wish to enable null analysis for this project? Just click enable and you should be good to go. Okay, so just like this, sometimes with VS Code you may have some issues where you have to just close VS Code and reopen it. That's completely fine, no biggie. Okay, but this video was to provide you information on what the Maven Central Repository is, the benefits of being able to easily integrate any library, any external library that we will be using to your pom.xml file, and to discuss what dependencies were or are.